You know what's worse than someone not liking you? It's when they kind of like you. When they keep you around but never really choose you. And here's the truth. If you're just an option to him, you will feel it. It won't always be obvious in words, but it will be painfully clear in his actions. Because when a man truly wants you, he prioritizes you. When he doesn't, he conveniently treats you like a maybe. And a maybe is just a slow no in disguise. You know when someone seems super into you, but only when it fits into their schedule. That's the first big red flag if a man is truly invested. You won't just hear from him when he's got nothing better to do. You'll hear from him because he wants to stay connected. But if you're just an option, his interest will come in waves. A text here, a call there, and then suddenly silence. It's not that he's bad at texting. It's that he's only good at texting when it's convenient for him. Here's the thing. Real consistency doesn't require perfect circumstances. It's not about having the whole day free or being in the right mood. It's about making space for you, even when life is hectic. If a man can be too busy to check in for days, but somehow has time for social media, friends, and hobbies, you're not a priority, you're a placeholder. His consistency is situational, not intentional. When a man truly values you, he understands that connection is built in the little everyday actions. It's the good morning text before work, the "how's your day going?" during lunch, the quick call to say he was thinking about you. Those small moments matter because they show you're on his mind, not just in his free time, but all the time. Convenience-driven consistency is the opposite. It's unpredictable, unreliable, and it leaves you feeling unsure where you stand. The problem with convenience is that it creates an emotional roller coaster. One moment, he's making you feel wanted and special, and the next, he's gone. And here's the trap. You start waiting for the high again. You start craving those good days so much that you excuse the bad ones. You tell yourself, well, he does message me sometimes, but sometimes is not enough when you deserve. Always pay attention to the patterns. Does he disappear when he's busy, stressed, or simply entertained elsewhere? Does he suddenly become consistent again when he's lonely, bored, or looking for validation? That's not emotional investment, that's emotional convenience. You're essentially on his terms, living in his rhythm, instead of being in a connection where both people show up equally. If you're always left guessing when you'll hear from him next, you're not in a relationship, you're in a waiting game. And the harsh truth is, someone who sees you as just an option will always make effort optional. If every time you see him, it's because he sent you a "what are you doing tonight?" text at 700 p.m., you're not being courted. You're being slotted in. Last-minute plans might feel exciting in the beginning, like he's just so eager to see you that he can't wait. But over time, you realize it's not spontaneity, it's strategy. It's keeping his schedule open for better options and only reaching out when those fall through. A man who truly values you will plan to see you. He'll mark the date in his calendar, think about what you might enjoy, and look forward to it. When he respects you, he won't treat your time like it's endlessly available for him to claim on a whim. If everything you do together feels rushed and unplanned, it's a sign you're not on his priority list. You're on his "if nothing else comes up" list. Last-minute invitations also send a subtle message. I expect you to be available when I am. And here's where many people fall into the trap. They say yes every time, thinking that by being flexible and agreeable, they'll make him want them more. In reality, what you're doing is teaching him that he never has to put in real effort to earn your time. Your yes becomes so easy that it loses value in his eyes. This habit of showing up only when it's convenient for him creates an imbalance in the relationship. You're adjusting your life around him while he's adjusting nothing for you. It starts small, a random weeknight hangout, a sudden brunch invite. But over time, it conditions you to accept crumbs instead of a full meal. And once you've accepted crumbs, it's very rare for someone to suddenly start baking you a cake. Sometimes we mistake these last-minute hangouts for intimacy. We think, well, he called me first, or he must really like me to think of me like this. But genuine intimacy isn't about popping into each other's lives when it's convenient. It's about creating space for each other deliberately. If he's never planning ahead, he's not picturing you in his future. When a man truly chooses you, he doesn't just fit you into his free moments. He makes those moments for you. He doesn't rely on chance encounters or spontaneous texts to keep you around. He builds anticipation because he wants to show you that you're worth the effort. If you've been talking dating or just seeing each other for months and he still dodges the conversation about what you are, that's not confusion, that's clarity. He knows exactly what he's doing. A man who truly wants you doesn't keep you in the gray area. He makes sure you know you're chosen. If you've brought it up and he responds with, let's just see where it goes, or why do we need labels? He's telling you he enjoys the benefits without the responsibility. Avoiding definition is a way of keeping the door open, not just for you, but for everyone else he might want to pursue. By not committing, he gets to keep you emotionally invested while still reserving the right to walk away at any moment. It's a safety net for him and a slow drain for you. And the longer you accept that arrangement, the more it chips away at your self-worth, because deep down you know you're giving relationship energy to someone who won't give it back. Here's the dangerous part. People in this situation often start negotiating against themselves. They think, if I just give it more time, he'll be ready. Or, if I don't push too hard, maybe he'll see how great this is and choose me. But a man who is truly serious about you won't need an extended trial period. He'll know what he wants. Commitment isn't something you convince someone into. It's something they offer willingly. When a man avoids defining the relationship, it creates constant uncertainty. You start reading into every text, every plan, every word, wondering, are we exclusive? Are we moving forward? Or am I just part of his comfort zone until someone else comes along? That uncertainty keeps you stuck because you're emotionally attached but never truly secure. The truth is, when you're just an option, not defining things, works in his favor. He gets your time, your affection, your loyalty, all without having to give you the assurance and stability of a real commitment. It's a deal that heavily benefits one side while leaving the other in emotional limbo. And if you're the one in limbo, that's your sign that something's off. If a man is serious about you, there will be no question in your mind about where you stand. He won't avoid the conversation, he'll initiate it. He won't hesitate to call you his partner, his girlfriend, his person, because he'll be proud to claim you. If he's not doing that, he's showing you he's not ready to choose you. It's easy to show up for someone when everything is fun, light, and convenient. Dinner dates, weekend plans, movie nights, that's the easy part. But the real test of someone's commitment isn't how they act when the sun is shining. It's how they show up when the storm hits. If he vanishes when you're stressed, sad, or going through something real, you're not his priority. You're his pastime. A man who sees you as just an option will avoid the hard moments. Why? Because being there for you in your low points requires effort, empathy, and emotional investment, things he doesn't want to give. He might say, oh, I'm just not good at that stuff, or I don't know what to say. But the truth is, when you care about someone, you figure it out. You don't have to have perfect words. You just have to be there when you're going through something, maybe a bad day at work, a family issue, or a personal challenge. And he suddenly becomes too busy. That's not coincidence, that's avoidance. People who truly value you don't disappear when you need support, they lean in. If he's absent during your vulnerable moments, he's showing you that his role in your life is conditional. The danger in this pattern is that it leaves you feeling alone while being in a connection. That's one of the most painful places to be. Having someone in your life but still feeling unsupported. It makes you question your worth and whether you're asking for too much. when in reality, you're asking for the bare minimum in a healthy relationship: presence. It's also worth noting that someone who disappears when you need them most will often resurface when the dust settles. He'll come back around when things are fun again, when the hard part is over, as if nothing happened. And if you accept that without addressing it, you're teaching him that it's okay to abandon you in difficult times and still get access to you in the good times. A man who's genuinely invested doesn't only want the highlight reel, he wants the whole story. He wants to be there for the messy chapters as much as the beautiful ones. If he's not willing to stand by you when things get heavy, he's telling you he's here for convenience, not commitment. In any healthy connection, there's a natural rhythm of give and take. Some days you give more, some days he does, and over time it balances out. But when you're just an option to someone, that balance doesn't exist. You're always the one reaching out, making plans, showing care, and keeping the connection alive. Meanwhile, he's simply going with the flow, which usually means doing the bare minimum and letting you carry the weight. At first, you might not notice it. You tell yourself, I don't mind initiating, or I'm just more thoughtful by nature. And that might be true, but here's the problem. If you're always the one putting in the energy, you start building a relationship with your effort, not with his. You end up investing in the version of the connection you're creating, not the reality of what he's giving back. The danger in this imbalance is that it starts to feel normal. You adjust your expectations down, convincing yourself that he's just not expressive or not good at planning. But deep down, you know that if he truly valued you, he'd try. Effort is not about personality type, it's about priority. When something matters, people find a way to show it. Over time, constantly over-giving creates resentment. You start feeling drained, unappreciated, and even a little taken for granted. You may catch yourself wondering why he never surprises you, why he never initiates meaningful conversations, or why you always have to remind him of important dates. And when you bring it up, he might make you feel like you're overreacting, which only adds to your frustration. This isn't just about fairness, it's about emotional security. Relationships built on one-sided effort are inherently unstable because one person is always guessing, always hoping, always waiting for the other to step up. If you're the one doing all the work, you're not in a partnership, you're in a performance, and the audience is just sitting there watching. The truth is, you shouldn't have to inspire someone to put in effort. You shouldn't have to earn reciprocity. If you are always giving more than you're getting, you're not being valued as a priority. You're being managed as an option. And the sooner you see that, the sooner you can decide whether you want to keep holding up something that the other person isn't helping to build. One of the easiest ways to spot when you're just an option is to look for the gap between what he says and what he does. He might tell you, I miss you, I care about you, or even, you're important to me. But if his actions don't reflect like those words, if he's inconsistent, unreliable, or absent, those phrases are nothing more than lip service. Anyone can say the right thing in the moment. It's the follow through that reveals the truth. Words can be intoxicating because they give you hope. They paint a picture of what you want to believe. And when you care about someone, you naturally want to take them at their word. But here's the trap. If you keep clinging to the words while ignoring the lack of action, you start living in the relationship you wish you had instead of the one you actually have. You end up holding on to potential instead of reality. People who see you as just an option will often use sweet words as a way to keep you invested without giving you the actual commitment, effort, or presence that matches them. It's a form of emotional maintenance, enough to keep you from leaving, but not enough to make you feel truly secure. You might find yourself thinking, well, he said he cares, so maybe he's just busy right now. When in reality, consistent action is the only real proof of care. Think of it this way: if someone says they're hungry, but never gets up to make food, they're not really hungry. They just like the idea of eating. In the same way, if someone says they miss you, but never takes the time to see you or connect meaningfully, they don't truly miss you. They just like the idea of you being there when they want. Real feelings translate into real actions. This mismatch between words and actions creates confusion, and confusion is exhausting. It keeps you constantly analyzing, decoding, and wondering if maybe you're being too demanding. But love, respect, and genuine interest don't require detective work. If his words and actions align, you feel calm and secure. If they don't, you feel anxious and uncertain. And that's your signal something is off. When someone's actions consistently fail to match their promises, they're showing you exactly where you stand. And if you're always hearing more than you're seeing, you're dealing with someone who values the convenience of keeping you around, but not the responsibility of truly showing up for you. When you're just an option to someone, you can sense it, because it feels like you're constantly fighting for a place in their world. You notice the way his attention drifts when you're together, how quickly he answers messages from other people but leaves yours on read, or how he seems more invested in what's happening on his phone than in the conversation with you. It's not paranoia, it's your instincts picking up on the fact that his focus isn't truly on you. Competition in a relationship isn't always about other women, though sometimes it is. It can also be about his friends, his work, his hobbies, or even his social media presence. If you feel like you're always trying to earn his time, to bait out the other things in his life for just a sliver of attention, you're not in a place of security. You're in a place of scarcity where love and effort feel like limited resources you have to fight for. The danger is this competition can make you behave in ways that don't reflect your true self. You might start overcompensating, dressing a certain way, posting certain things, or saying yes to things you don't want to do, just to keep his interest, without even realizing it. You can start performing for his attention instead of simply being yourself. That's a dangerous place to be because you slowly lose the comfort and confidence you had before. When someone truly chooses you, you never feel like you have to earn their focus. You already have it. You don't have to compete with his phone, his DMs, or the endless list of distractions in his world. He makes it clear that in that moment, you are the priority. But if you're always in competition mode, it's because he's keeping his energy spread thin, and you're only getting a fraction of what he's capable of giving. What makes this worse is that he might actually enjoy the attention imbalance. Some people like knowing that you'll fight for their focus because it boosts their ego. And as long as you keep competing, they have no reason to change the dynamic. They're getting all the validation without giving full commitment. It's a cycle that keeps you chasing instead of receiving. The truth is, love shouldn't feel like a contest you have to win. If it does, it's a sign you're not the prize in his eyes. You're just one of the players in his game. And that's a game you can never truly win because the rules are designed to keep you trying without ever letting you fully arrive. One of the clearest signs you're just an option is when you find yourself living in the future version of him instead of the one standing in front of you. You hold on because you believe that with just a little more time, he'll realize what he has, step up, and finally choose you. That hope can be powerful, but it can also keep you trapped in a cycle where nothing actually changes. The reality is, people don't suddenly wake up one morning and start treating you like a priority unless they've already decided you are one. If he's been casual, inconsistent, or emotionally distant for months, that's not an accident. It's a choice. And hoping for a different outcome without any real change in his behavior is like waiting for a movie plot twist that was never written. Hope can make you ignore patterns. You might think he just needs to get through this busy season, or once he's ready, he'll commit. But how many busy seasons have you already waited through? How many times have you told yourself, it's just not the right timing, when the truth is The timing will never be right for someone who isn't choosing you. This kind of hope can also make you work harder than ever to prove your worth to him. You start doing more, giving more, forgiving more, thinking that your loyalty will inspire change. But relationships don't work that way. Change doesn't come from you giving more. It comes from the other person deciding to meet you at the same level. If he's not doing that, your extra effort only makes it easier for him to stay the same. Every time you excuse his lack of action because of the person you believe he could be, you're sending him a silent message. You can give me less, and I'll still be here. And once someone knows you'll stay, no matter how little they give, they have no incentive to do more. You're not motivating him, you're enabling him. The truth is, love built on potential is fragile. You can't build a solid future on the version of him that lives only in your imagination. If you keep hoping he'll change without seeing any real movement in his actions, you're not waiting for love, you're waiting for a miracle. And miracles aren't a relationship strategy.